Joining me is Cherelle Murphy. She's the Oceania Chief Economist at EY. Cherelle, great to see you. Let's start with this issue of, we see these bottlenecks at Sydney Airport. Jeff Colbert, the CEO, says it's about the lack of staff or getting around these labour shortages. This is quite an issue at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's very short term in the sense it's people getting COVID and obviously being pulled out of the labour market. But, beyond that, there is clearly, it's a very tight labour market. We're seeing staff shortages across a number of industries. Of course, we've had really strong demand for employment, but at the same time, our supply of employment has been blocked off by the closure of international borders. And so the two, that mismatch is really showing up. Look, as the borders open internationally, we should see a little bit of relief there. But certainly we haven't seen a tight labour market like this in many years, if not decades.
The unemployment rate, as we all know, if we didn't before yesterday, we certainly do now, is 4% and heading to under 4 soon, as the Prime Minister pointed out today. But that's I guess, is the signal, the number that reflects the challenges in part as to what we're seeing at Sydney Airport. But you talk to anyone in hospitality right now, they can't get workers.
Yeah, that's right. And not only have we seen the unemployment rate fall, but the participation rate's gone up, which means that there's more people who perhaps weren't associated with the labour market. They're now coming back into the labour market. And so the pool of those who might be enticed into the labour market is also getting smaller. So that's definitely part of it. I noticed today also in NAB's business survey that some of the stronger industries in the economy are retail and recreation and services. Now, these are the industries which are really the front of this labour shortage, the ones that, had really come from behind, and together, they're just adding to demand.
When you look at the economy at the moment, and rates, if they don't rise in May, will most likely rise in June from the record low level. What's your overall read on where the economy is at right now?
So I think we've got a strong economy right now. We know that. The question, I guess, is as we go through the tightening of monetary policy and the tightening of fiscal policy, can we maintain a strong economy? And my feeling is that we probably can. We have households who have a lot of buffer in their mortgage repayments. So many households sitting on, 2 years ahead on their mortgage payments. We've got households who've also got savings bigger than they've had in the past, and that's because of all the government payments from COVID-related assistance. So when you put those two things together, plus we've got a strong demand for labour, and we should get a bit of wage growth as well, high participation rate, which means we've got most people who want to work are working. I think the economy can kind of really sort of push through this bit of tightening that we're about to see in both the monetary and the fiscal side. So
people are well equipped for the rate rises.
I think that's right. I think, we'll kind of be able to deal with it quite well as a whole. Of course, there are households that won't. And that is unfortunately always part of the Reserve Bank's dilemma. Not everyone can cope with it.
Do you think we'll eventually, I think you touched on it there, but we will see these wage rises because they continue to lag inflation at the moment?
They have. And
for a long time.
Yeah, that's right. And, there are structural reasons why, wages are below what we might have expected in the past. However, it'd be very surprising if we didn't start to see this really tight labour market start to show through in higher wages. Might not be sort of 5-6% growth, but certainly 3-4.
When you look at regardless of whoever wins the election, they've got some other issues to manage. We spoke about the rate rise, but also this legislated now decrease in the fuel excise is going to come off in 6 months' time. It's going to be a bit of a headache for people at the Bowser unless the international oil price falls concurrently.
That's right, and I think the government's really hoping that's what happens. But of course, there's no guarantees, and with something as volatile as the situation in Ukraine, of course, how do we actually know that? But yes, I mean that's going to be a tricky issue for whoever wins government come the end of September.
Cherelle Murphy, EY Oceania Chief Economist. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your analysis. Thank you.